Man, it's been a while since I streamed. Well, I did go on a short vacation, and then I didn't stream for a week, so kind of makes sense why there was such a big gap. Anyway, I don't know what was going on last time. I don't remember anything. Oh yeah, tracking device thing. In the bear's eyeball. There was a camera. I can't remember what happened though. It's past 9 PM already, isn't it? I wonder if Mr. Edgeworth has already found Mystic Maya. These things take time. I'd say probably not. The police are professionals, Pearls. They'll find her, so don't you worry. And if we can win a not guilty verdict tomorrow, then everything will be okay. You're right. So the real person who killed Mr. Corrida was... Hold on, let me get my stream up. Just make sure everything looks fine. Yeah, looks fine. That assassin, Mr. Shelley the Killer, right? Oh, someone just went live that's doing a randomizer. Maybe I'll host them if they're still doing it. I did notice they were saying stuff about that. And the card Miss Andrews found at the crime scene seems to be proof of that. But if that's the case, then a new question comes to mind. Who was the one that hired the killer to begin with? Who was his client? You mean, who asked for the murder? That person didn't want to dirty their own hands in blood. But whoever this client is, they're still a killer. Who could have hired the assassin? Do you think it was Miss Andrews? I wonder. I don't think it could be Miss Andrews, could it? But if she was the client, then why go through the effort to stab the knife into the corpse herself? Yeah. Something's not adding up. But if Miss Andrews wasn't the client, then no, it can't be. Matangaard himself? That's what I was saying last time. He didn't kill Corda. He ordered someone to kill Corda, maybe. We could always ask him that. If Mr. Matangaard really did hire the assassin, then he is not innocent at all. Far from it. He would be guilty of the crime. But it can't be Mr. Matangaard, right? I mean, when we first talked to him... Mr. Matangaard, I'd like to ask you one more question. Did you kill Mr. Juan Corda? Alright, just so we're clear, dude. I didn't kill anyone. And that includes Juan Corda, okay? I didn't see any Cyclops at that time. Actually, that reminds me. Did you remember something, Mr. Nick? Yeah, something Miss Andrews said at the trial today. She said something interesting. So what is this interesting thing? Oh, that's right, you didn't hear it, did you, Pearls? Juan had bet everything on the Jammin' Ninja this year. If he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Mr. Matangaard's secret? What is this secret? I don't know yet. But for now, let's think about it this way. Mr. Corda was going to reveal this secret. That means Mr. Matangaard had plenty of motive to have Mr. Corda silenced. Which means we have to meet with Mr. Matangaard. There's no way around it now. Wow, it's really getting late, isn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it's past 9 p.m. already. But we still have some things to prepare for tomorrow's trial. There's still the matter of this secret Mr. Corda held about Mr. Matangaard. And Miss Andrews' real intentions. These are two things I must know tonight. But aren't visiting hours over at the detention center? I'm sure we'll think of something, Pearls, don't you worry. We'll break in. We'll get purposely arrested so we can talk to Matangaard. Perfect plan. Hey, wait! What is it, whippersnapper? All I know is nothing that has anything to do with you is ever good. Just now, I was handed this strange device for who knows what reason. And I was told to use it to search the whole hotel. That's the bug sweeper, isn't it? The one Gumshoe made. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. But the request came from Edgypoo, so... Edgeworth? And he said, if you feel angry, direct your anger at that unsophisticated lawyer. So I'm going to feel free to direct all my anger towards you. Ugh, gee, thanks a bundle, Edgeworth. What a pal you are. This is absolutely top secret, so you had better keep it to yourselves. I heard they found a spy camera hidden in one of the presents. Very interesting. I'm sure it was, you know, was to catch poor Juan in the middle of a scandalous meeting. Scandalous? What's that? It means, well, you know, that gossip that's been going around about my dear Juan. Oh, you mean that thing about Miss Andrews? I'm sure she must have had some reason for getting close to Mr. Corda. I'll let you in on another secret, young'un. I know who planted that spy camera. It was that obnoxious, puffy-haired photographer girl. The nerve of some people. Spying on people by herself, as if I wouldn't want to see it for myself too. Well, the alien actually admitted her true intentions for her change. I don't know what you're thinking exactly, but I can bet that it's nothing good. But I didn't say anything. So you want to know about Juan and that manager, right? Actually, as I hear it, they were something of a refreshing pair, those two. Oh? I tell you, Juan really welcomed that manager with open arms, I heard. That manager? Who are you talking about? You don't know? That manager woman Juan had? It's a shame she killed herself, though. Oh, you're talking about Miss Celeste Impax, Miss Andrews' mentor, right? Yes, that's the one. That Celeste girl. She was supposed to get married, you know. Married? You mean to Mr. Corda? Really, you young kids today don't know anything, do you? That girl Celeste killed herself 3 days after their marriage announcement. 3 days after their marriage announcement? What in the... Why would Miss Impax want to kill herself? She was going to get married. Well, that's because she was thrown away, you see, by Juan. What? But they were going to get married, right? They promised each other, right? They held a grand announcement session, but 3 days later, Juan suddenly cancelled their marriage. Is that true? It was in the weekly magazines, because we should always trust those. But why? Why did he do that? That was not in the magazines, unfortunately. I see. That night after Juan called off the wedding, that manager Celeste killed herself. How terrible. I wonder what happened between those two. What about this card? Can I show her this image? Nah. Damn, there's so much going on. On that night, there must have been at least a few hundred people here. I guess the police are done with their questioning and investigating. Looks like things here in the lobby have finally calmed down. Alright, let's see. Where should we go? Braden Co. Law Offices. Doesn't look like Mr. Scruffy Detective is here. Well, he's out there with that camera asking around at all the electronic stores. Then I'll make some salad for him for dinner. Looks like Pearls really appreciates what Gumshoe is doing for us. Mr. Nick? Yes? Where's the lettuce? I don't think we've ever bought lettuce before. I guess I have to give up on making a salad then. Guess the lack of lettuce is kind of a problem. I've already talked to her. Detention center. Visiting hours ended a few hours ago. Looks like we're not going to get a chance to talk to Mr. Matangaard tonight. But isn't what we have to ask very important? Yeah, but I don't think that matters to the guard. Feels sort of tense in here, doesn't it, Mr. Nick? Yeah, it does. I wonder if something happened. You're Mr. Matangaard's lawyer, right? Yes, sir. Well, we finally found just the person we've been looking for. A real decisive witness. Who? A decisive witness? You mean for the Matangaard case? We're taking the witness's statement right now. Gotta hand it to Mr. Edgeworth. What's Edgeworth up to now? Who is this witness? Think you know this person quite well, Mr. Lawyer. Mr. Nick? Between the kidnapper's demand and now this, I can't see any way to win here. Oh yeah, Mr. Edgeworth wanted me to tell you something. He did? Even though visiting hours are no longer over at the detention center, he wanted me to grant you special permission. So there you go. What? I've already called them, so they know. Well, they didn't know a second ago. Go on, go talk to your heart's content. Thank you very much. This is such good news, Mr. Nick. Go talk to your heart's content? Sounds like the police are pretty sure that they have tomorrow's trial in the bag. Who's the decisive witness? I'm sure they must have transferred Miss Andrews here by now. So that means that both Mr. Matangaard and Miss Andrews are in this detention center. Now then, whose story do I want to hear? Well, I kind of want to hear Matangaard's story. Dude, it's Mr. Wright. I hope you can get me off the hook tomorrow. I'm counting on you. I hope so too. Edgeworth just dropped a bombshell on me by saying that Juan Corda was killed by an assassin, and that the assassin's client is this man, Matangaard. What's wrong? Mr. Matangaard, there's something I must know with 100% certainty. You seem kinda different. You're totally not like your usual lawyer dude self. About the press conference. You mean the one where Juan was going to dress up as the Nickel Samurai? Yeah, I heard a little more about it from Miss Andrews. It looked like somehow Juan had it in his hands a secret so powerful it would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. Could you please fill me in on what this secret is, please? Oh. Cyclops. 5 Cyclops? 5 Cyclops? Mr. Nick, don't tell me Cyclops. Said a secret, right? But I don't have any idea what it is. Do you, dude? Did you know about Mr. Korda and Miss Andrews' relationship? Well, it's all over the tabloids, dude. Ah, but I don't know any of the details, if that's what you mean. Look, how many times do I have to tell you? I don't care what Juan did with his life. Miss Andrews, she had a purpose in mind when she started seeing Mr. Korda. Her mentor was Mr. Korda's manager. And Miss Andrews was going to get Miss Celeste Impax's suicide note from him. Celeste. Does that jog any memories? Dude, I suddenly just got totally hungry. You up for a pizza? My treat. Mr. Nick? What's a pizza? Is it like a kind of pea? Like green peas? Let's go eat one later, okay? Ah, I got cut off by the pizza dude at the shop. That's too bad. Well, how about we get our minds off this topic and talk about something else, okay? Mr. Matangaard, are you connected to Miss Impax's suicide in some way? Can you tell me about John Doe? About this person. He's your butler, Mr. John Doe, right? We met him at your mansion. Don't give him a name. Oh, yes, that's right. He's a pretty cool dude who can do lots of things. He takes real good care of me. Yeah, I don't think that's what you were going to say there. Mr. Matangaard? Dude, I know I asked you to be my lawyer and all, but I don't think I have to tell you anything and everything. What do you mean by that? Just means I don't have to tell you anything and everything, dude. I don't get it. Why would she want to frame me? I mean, I've never done anything to her, dude. Well, maybe it mentioned something in her mentor's suicide note. Mr. Matangaard sounds pretty sincere, and he seems trustworthy. So I have to find out what Miss Andrews' real intentions are. Kind of scared to show him this card. What's wrong, dude? Oh, so about this picture card. Have you ever seen this before? Nope, never saw it before in my life, dude. I don't think he's lying. Or is he? And again, he looked like he gasped just now. Maybe I'm seeing things? Alright, we'll leave the choice since I don't know if I can go back and make that choice again. Let's show this. I don't think I have any evidence that can deal with this. Especially 5 Cyclops. Now, let's hear what this secret of yours is. What if Mr. Korda had been successful in his plan? What would he have disclosed? I told you before, dude, I don't know. I don't know anything about Juan, okay? Look, Mr. Wright, I can keep on saying it until I'm blue in the face, but I totally didn't pay Juan any attention the whole time that night. I mean, come on. I was in the middle of a nap. Don't lie to me. Huh? I know you paid close attention to Mr. Korda, especially on that night. I could do this, but I don't think that's it. I don't think I have enough evidence yet. Oh, Mr. Wright, please, you have to help me. Uh-oh. Mr. Powers! What happened? Why are you here? You see, I got roped into this somehow. What? And now I'm going to testify at tomorrow's trial. So the decisive witness is Mr. Powers? I was talking with a detective until a little while ago, and I was on my way home. When all of a sudden, you there, you're under arrest, and I was brought back here. Oh. They said my face and the whole self in general looked suspicious or something. Well, I guess I can see how they thought you looked suspicious. I'm just a normal guy on an exercise show for kids. Is that a crime? So about this testimony you're giving, what are you going to talk about? I really don't know yet. It sounds like I saw something pretty important. It sounds like you saw something? So you don't even know what is important? Sounds like I saw something pretty important from what they tell me. You saw something important? What was it? Ah, well, the detective told me not to talk about it. Can't tell anyone, and especially not that lawyer, he said. You think that lawyer the... Do you think is that lawyer the detective was... Who do you think is that lawyer the detective was talking about? I'm going to take a wild guess and say it's me. Yeah, you got it. Mr. Nick! Mystic Maya and myself are your only two allies in this whole world, but it's alright. Ouch. I don't really have a lot of friends, do I? This is going to do a lot of damage to you, Matt, you know? Because he's got that refreshing, like a spring breeze image going. But what is he really like? Well, let's see. Matt's always been kind of a player with women. He would never really turn a pretty face away, if you know what I mean. He'd always say, it's just a game, to justify himself. What? How horrible! That's unforgivable. Ow, sorry, didn't mean to offend you. But you know, he said once that there is only one person in the world who won't swoon over me. One person who wouldn't swoon over him? His manager, you know, Miss Andrews. Why is Mr. Powers suddenly looking kind of energetic? Ah, you see, I'm actually a sucker for gossip. I mean, celebrities in their world have this dazzling sort of image, right? A dazzling sort of image? But aren't you a part of that dazzle, Mr. Powers? No, I'm more of the hairy, sweaty, smelly, brutish kind. But it's okay, really. I get to hear plenty of gossip about a lot of the other stars around me as things happen. Well, that's true. Oh hey! So, did you hear about this yet? Miss Andrews' mentor in her suicide? You mean Miss Impax? We heard something about how her wedding was cancelled. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I thought about it a little the other day, about that mysterious death. Hey, Mr. Wright, why don't you ask me about that? Go on, go ahead. Mr. Powers is so charged up his skin is practically glowing with electricity. Hey, so have you heard this? Celeste left a suicide note. They say that Juan went and hid it. We heard about that in court today. There wasn't any actual proof that she had left a note. Well, this is what I think. I think that something bad was written on that note. Something bad for Juan, that is. Something bad for Mr. Corrida? Or something bad for Matangaard? Why do you figure so? Well, before she died, Celeste talked with a few of her friends. And she said, "It looks like I got caught up with a truly insidious man." A truly insidious man? Did she mean Mr. Corda by that? Well, there's no one else that fits the bill, right? And that would be reason enough for him to hide the suicide note. I see, well, that's some good info, thank you. You're welcome. Mr. Matangaard and Miss Andrews, they're both at the detention center right now. There are still things I don't understand or know about, I'm sure. I have to get the two of them to tell me everything. Adrian? Oh, it's you. I'm sorry to be visiting at such a late hour. There are a few questions I absolutely have to ask you tonight. Me? I thought your client was mad. I'm sure Miss Andrews knows something. She can't be clueless about this secret Mr. Corda had on Mr. Matangaard. I'd like to ask you about Matangaard, if you don't mind. Mr. Wright, you still don't know, do you? The real him, I mean. You seem to bear a lot of resentment towards Mr. Matangaard. If that's the case, then why did you become his manager? And why would you become intimate with his rival? That has nothing to do with this case. Nothing. About Miss Celeste Impax. I had finally put her death behind me. And now, thanks to you, it's all come back to the surface. I'm sorry. Yes, I was shocked by her suicide. And it's true that when I heard the rumor that Juan was the one who had hidden her suicide note, I began to draw close to him. I wanted to get her suicide note back and to burn it. You wanted to burn it? But why? I didn't want to spread just like another piece of gossip. But I never held any murderous intent towards Juan. I would never do something so stupid. Suicide note, huh? I wonder what it said. Why did you try to frame Mr. Matangaard? That's simple. Because he's the killer, that's why. Isn't it the duty of every good citizen to inform the police? But there had to be another way. The police are excellent at doing their job, so they'd figure it out, right? Yes, they're so good that they couldn't figure out the real truth behind Celeste's death. Miss Andrews. Well, I know you're not the type of person to do something without a reason. So please, tell me why you did what you did. Then Cyclops. Revenge. Huh? Did you say something just now? Oh, one Cyclops. Kind of weird. Have one psych lock. Must be a really tough psych lock. Don't you understand yet? You're not my lawyer, to be honest. You're more like my enemy. But I'm sure I just heard Miss Andrews say revenge. Tell me about Matangaard. Miss Andrews? That things have come to this. I have nothing left to say about that man. Not one word. Celeste was my mentor. She was a strong woman. She wouldn't kill herself over any old trifling matter. So, you have some ideas of why she killed herself? Yes, I suppose. He is a very prideful man, or rather, was. He absolutely had to compete with Matt on everything, no matter what it was. He really was such an idiot. Miss Andrews? Well, I guess maybe all stars are like that. Never giving any thought to other people's feelings. And... so what is this cyclock gonna be? Can you please tell me why you framed Mr. Matangaard for the murder? I've already told you countless times, it's because I thought Matt was the killer. No, that's not it. I know you have a personal reason to dislike Mr. Matangaard. Miss Andrews, you might think I didn't hear it, but I know you said something earlier. You said, revenge. So are you saying I was taking my revenge out on Matt? And that's why? What an absurd idea. I don't have anything I want to take revenge for. Miss Andrews, a woman who lives by being dependent on other people. There is something or someone in her past that would make her take revenge. Celeste. There is only one catalyst that could cause such a strong feelings, and even revenge. And that is Miss Impax's suicide. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right, you haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. Matangaard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Can you explain to me this relation between Celeste and Matt? Well, I got somewhere with her, but I don't think I can explain that. Nice ringtone. Mr. Nick, your phone. Hey, that's the Steel Samurai theme song, isn't it? I don't like the sound of this ringtone right now. Sounds kind of ominous. Yeah, I know. Hello? We're in trouble now, pal. I'll be back at the office really soon. What's wrong? Something's really unexpected just happened. Mr. Edgeworth, Edgeworth? Anyway, hurry up and get back to the office, pal. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's no good. Hello? He got cut off. What's going on, Mr. Nick? Gumshoe said we need to go back to the office right away. Then we should hurry back. I'm scared to go back. What are you talking about, Mr. Nick? Pull yourself together. Maybe it'll be good news. Didn't sound like good news. Somehow I doubt that. What took you so long, pal? Mr. Edgeworth couldn't stick around forever and had to go. Well, what happened? We got him. We know who bought that spy camera. Eh? This quickly? And this bear is what gave them away, pal. The bear. I figured it out, pal. I figured that we should have been looking into the bear instead of the camera. But wasn't it Mr. Edgeworth that figured? Shh, pearls. And go on? There's only one person who bought one of those bears who's related to this crime. Who is it, pal? I mean, now I'm talking. Now Pearls is talking like Edgeworth. No, who is it? Who would be so rude as to spy on another person in their room? Matangaard. Oh, hey, I predicted it. Huh? Matangaard, your client. That's who, pal. Here I thought things couldn't get any worse. Are you sure you heard right? That the person who bought this bear was... I heard it from the department store clerk, pal. This is the credit card receipt for the purchase. It's for $3,800, pal. That's the exact match to the price of that stuffed bear. A receipt? That's all you have? Nah. It's not just a receipt, pal. The store clerk said so himself. Told me. I'm sure I sold the bear to Mr. Unguard. I mean, the clerk even got Mr. Unguard's autograph out of it, pal. So I'm sure the person that bought the stuffed bear was Mr. Unguard himself. My sight is failing me. This can't be. So what about the spy camera we found? Ah, that was a dead end, pal. I mean, you can get this kind of thing from anywhere. But for now, I guess I can give these back to you give these back to you for you to file away into evidence. Spy camera. I know you don't want to give up, pal. I didn't think it was possible. The person who put the spy camera in Juan Corda's room was Matangaard. Why would Mr. Unguard do something like this? I bet it was to catch Miss Andrews and Mr. Corda in one of their rendezvous. I bet is not good enough for me. I have to know the absolute truth behind this camera. Are you going to see him? Mr. Unguard, I mean? Yes. I'm scared, Mr. Nick. I wonder what we will find out next. I'm scared myself, but I have to put on a good face for pearls. Matangaard, what in the world have you done? Whoa. You're working really late, you know. It's already past 10 p.m., dude. I think it's time you told me the truth. Relax, don't you know that ignorance is bliss? But if you really want to know, let's talk. Someone used this camera to secretly film Mr. Corda's room the night of the murder. Secretly film? What? And then sent the images the camera took with this transmitter. Wow, but dude, where was this camera you're talking about hidden? The spy camera was hidden in this bear's eye. A bear that was supposed to be a present from a fan. I guess Juan had a few of those kinds of fans too, huh, dude? Actually, I wouldn't say this bear was a present from a fan. You sure, dude? Who else could it be from? The person who gave this bear to Mr. Corda was... you! Mr. On Guard, don't you know this bear from somewhere? I don't think I've met Mr. Bear before, dude. Ah, but he says he knows you. How could you forget such a great friend? What else did the bear tell you? Says that the one who put the camera in his eye was you, Mr. On Guard. If I didn't know how you work in court, I'd think I was in some serious trouble. Come on. This is all a joke, right, dude? You're just pulling my leg. Looks like you're not ready to give up your secret yet. Well, do you have any proof you want to show me first? I have here one credit card receipt, Mr. On Guard. It's from when you bought that stuffed bear. Dude, all you can tell from this is that I spent $3,800. I go to that department store all the time, okay? This $3,800, this could be a toothbrush I bought that one time. Yeah, that cost $3,800? I doubt it. A $3,800 toothbrush? It's ivory, and it's got elephant hair for bristles. Ew. Elephant hair? Is that what rich people use nowadays? Anyway, the store clerk clearly remembers you and your purchase. After all, you even gave him an autograph, did you not? Dude, you should have said that earlier. So can I ask you one thing? Yeah? You're my lawyer, right, dude? So if you are, then why are you looking into stuff like that? Because if I don't know the truth, I can't help you. Sounds more like a stupid lawyer talk to me. Hey, let's stop talking about this, okay? No, not yet. I haven't asked you why you set the camera up just yet. And what your secret is. Of course, it would be this strictly confidential. So, what are you going to do now? going to find out what I want to know, because I must. The reason you hid this camera in Mr. Corda's room and filmed it in secret is... Mr. Matangaard? Dude, how about you take that bear home with you and talk to her? I have to somehow get... Not sure what to present here. Magazine clipping? It is. Adrian Andrews? There is a rumor going around that Miss Andrews and Mr. Corda were having secret meetings. You, who was keeping tabs on Mr. Corda, you are going to reveal this as fact and turn it into a scandal. Isn't that right? Dude, you can be such a moron. Huh? Oh man, Mr. Lawyer Dude, that kind of scandal. That's the good stuff. That's what we in the industry call juicy. The good stuff? Juicy? Look, we can get publicity without spending a penny with that kind of stuff. I mean, if people stop paying attention to us, then it'd be the end, dude. Too bad that wasn't your intention. What are you talking about? I wish your reason for spying was something so innocent, but it wasn't. You didn't spy on Mr. Corda because of Miss Andrews. There's only one reason I can think of for you to do such a thing. The real reason you set up the camera in Mr. Corda's room was... How do I pick this? If I really wanted to set up a spy camera, I wouldn't have set it up in Juan's room. Would have been in your office, dude. Huh? My office? Well, dude, you're always saying really absurd things, right? It'd be like getting the comedy channel for free. What is the real reason he set up the camera in Mr. Corda's room? This? getting close. What would be the real reason? Alright, let's try again. Surely we can find something to present. Man, this one's really long. The crime photo? Or not the crime photo, the Lotus photo? No. Alright, so it was the shell card. What is this card? Maybe he doesn't know about this card. This is a certain man's calling card. A man's name. The man's name is Shelly the Killer. And I'm sure you know of him, don't you? Shelly the Killer. That's ridiculous. Why would I know some shady scumbag like him? If you really don't know him, then why are you acting so jumpy all of a sudden? This is it. I'm finally starting to get to the truth. Can't afford to make any more mistakes now. Mr. Matangaard, I know why you know Mr. the Killer. It's because... you're his client. Question mark? You're a hero of justice does not sound like the correct answer. You're a star. I'll go with this. Since you're the one who set up that camera, that means you knew. You knew exactly what was going to happen in that room. So how? How did you know something like that? It's because you're his client. That's why. You hired Shelly the Killer to assassinate Mr. Juan Corda. The real mastermind behind this whole murder is you, Matangaard. And here I was, trying to be a good boy for you, dude. I thought if you didn't know, you'd be able to do your job without feeling bad. Well, that's what I thought anyway. Mr. Unguard, you really did hire? Hold on a sec. I'm gonna consult myself, okay? Consult myself? Well, I guess it's probably about time anyway. About time for what? I think it's time for you to meet him now, Mr. Lawyer Dude. That doesn't sound good. How do you do, Mr. Lawyer? I'm Matangaard. I liked the other Matt. What is this music? Where did those scars come from? Where did he get this drink? Well done, Mr. Wright. I bet it wasn't easy to gather as much information as you have. You really... So you are Shelly the Killer's client? You didn't really think I would dirty my own hands in this, did you? What do you mean? And that woman, Adrian Andrews, was quite brave herself, trying to stick the crime on me. I didn't think she had it in her. But all I care about is that Juan is dead. Isn't that right, Mr. Lawyer? You're lying. What a terrible... It's way past your bedtime, little girl. Go on and let us grown-ups talk about more adult things. Why? Why did you hide the video camera and... A weakling soon believes the words of others, just like that pathetic Adrian. You knew about Miss Andrews' secret? But I'm no weakling. I don't believe anyone. Least of all assassins. What? Oh, come on now, Mr. Wright. Assassins aren't above blackmail. They turn their clients into cash cows by holding their sinful deed over their heads. I'm a superstar like me. How much do you think I'm worth? Care to guess? And that's why... Yes, that's where the video comes in. I got his face and the crime scene recorded on it, preserved for all time. With that, I can keep him at bay and even blackmail him if I want. That's right. That video is my insurance. Isn't that what they call it, Mr. Wright? Why would you do something so wrong? Because I'm a grown-up, and I can. Good enough an answer for you, little girl? Why? Why would you kill Mr. Corda? Because he was about to sling so much dung into my beautiful public image. Scandals are a little annoying, aren't they? This is all because of that press conference, isn't it? If Mr. Corda had been able to give it, then Mr. Unguard's secret would have... Ah, well, that's what we call taking advantage of the situation, you know? I had no interest in doing it, really, but bit by bit it crept up on me. And then the situation just presented itself perfectly. How beautiful, I thought. And that's how Mr. Corda ended up dead? Let me tell you something. I'm not like Adrian. I don't depend on anyone. People are simply things to be used and thrown away. Put on a sweet, innocent face, and people will swallow anything you feed them. Adrian fell for it. The assassin, too. Oh, and how can I forget? Even you fell for it, Mr. Lawyer. Everyone all working their butts off for me, Matangaard. Ah, did that leave you speechless? What a shame. What's wrong, Mr. Lawyer? You've grown awfully quiet. How could I have been so deceived by you all this time? When we first met, I asked if you had killed Juan Corda. You answered very clearly that you hadn't killed anyone. Hey now, I never told you any lies. The person who did the killing was that killer guy, right? All I'm guilty of is taking a cat nap in my room. You killed Mr. Corda. Ha ha ha. I dare you to say that in court tomorrow. Grr. Ah, but too bad, you can't. You're my lawyer after all, aren't you? You could always drop my case and refuse to represent me. How does that sound? Ah, but you can't, can you? That would be the one thing you absolutely can't do. Mystic Maya! You wouldn't want to test the killer. He's a man of his word, or so I hear. You could end up getting a certain friend of yours rubbed out if you lose. You scoundrel. So if I were you, Mr. Wright, Esquire, I think I would give it my all tomorrow. Remember, everyone likes a happy win-win resolution. I'll get you for this. Such a cliché phrase. Juan said something just like that, if memory serves. Of course, well, we all know how well things turned out for him, don't we? Good night, Mr. Lawyer. Maya, what am I supposed to do? And now you've finally found it. The starting line of this case. Edward, I don't care for the horrid atmosphere here. Let's return to the precinct. Well, Wright, what are you going to do if you plan on changing your strategy? No, we can't do that. That's right. He's holding Maya hostage. What should I do? That's not something I can answer for. Mr. Edward. Right, only you can decide where to go from here. 1 year ago, at that time, I didn't truly understand what a prosecutor was. And that is why I had to leave the prosecutor's office. I felt that I couldn't stand in a court of law until I knew what a prosecutor really was. And now, Wright, it's your turn. My turn? What is this thing called a lawyer? What can you do as one? You must find the answer, and you must find it on your own. I'm a lawyer, but to fight for someone who is clearly a killer. Matangaard, that man is really... It doesn't matter who, every person deserves a proper defense and a fair trial. Isn't that the basis of our judicial system? Proper defense? But what exactly is that? Is it where a lawyer forcibly and blindly gets an acquittal through shouting and trickery? Ironic that you of all people should say such a thing. Isn't that exactly how you have fought for your clients up until now? Well, that may be true, but that's because I've believed my clients to be innocent from the bottom of my heart. But if I were to get on guard an acquittal, that isn't a proper defense at all. I became a lawyer because I thought I could save people who were suffering and in pain. But when I look at this mess we're in, I can't even protect the person closest to me. Even if I win the case, I still lose in the end. I just don't know what to do. Right. Would you get a hold of yourself? You have it all wrong. Huh? We aren't some sort of heroes. We're only human, you and I. We want to save someone? That's something easier said than done, wouldn't you say? You are a defense attorney. You can't run away from that. You can only fight. That's all you can do. People like you and Franziska von Karma are always using all you have to pin me down. You fight to the very end, even when you know the truth is not with you. But I'm not like you. I can't fight for a false verdict, for a man I clearly know to be guilty. Franziska, she fights for herself. The only thing she fights for is her perfect win record, that's all. And isn't that the same as you? Isn't that why you ran away a year ago? Because your precious win record was destroyed? You are so petty. I see. Now I understand why you despise me so. However, you are mistaken. Thanks to you, when you sealed off my path to a perfect win record, I began to realize the error of my ways. I realized that things such as a perfect record were meaningless. What? I don't believe you. Are you saying that is why you left the prosecutor's office? But then, why? Why are you here now? The answer to that is something you will find out on your own. I have faith you will see it before the verdict is read tomorrow. But if you can't, then you will be powerless to change the ending of this story. Mr. Nick, the transceiver! I'm sorry for what happened earlier. Now then, Mr. Attorney, do you wager you can obtain an acquittal tomorrow? My, what is the matter, Mr. Attorney? I don't sense your usual anger this time. Tell me, please, why are you holding Maya hostage for Mr. Unguard's sake? Why are you doing this for that cold-blooded killer? Right. Please don't misunderstand things. He is my client. Don't toy with me. A man who hires an assassin is just as much of a killer himself. I believe you were asking me for a reason as to why I am doing what I am. Yeah? This is what I like to call my aftercare. What the heck is aftercare? My name carries a certain amount of honor and dignity, Mr. Attorney. I take great care to ensure that no suspicion falls upon my clients for my handiwork. That is what is called client relations, and is part of an assassin's duty. An assassin's duty? We were unlucky this time, and my client was arrested as a suspect. As a result, I did what I had to do, to enlist your expert help, Mr. Attorney, and to ensure that you would do everything in your power to the very end. What is your name? I believe I told you once before, however. You did, but my name is De Killer. Shelley De Killer. You're Shelley De Killer? Please keep in mind you do not have much space to maneuver with me. As a killer, I always finish what I set out to do. If you fail to keep up your end of the bargain, Maya, it would be my duty as an assassin to see to it she receives a nice long nap Ah, no! Now then, if you'll excuse me. If someone were to trace this signal back to me, it would be quite troublesome. Meow. I heard a cat. And guess who has a cat? Mr. On Guard. Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! I don't know what to say. Edgeworth! Hmm? Did you hear that? At the end of that transmission. Huh? Oh, that. It sounded like a cat. A cat? It can't be. That cat. Can it? What is it? I think I know where Shelly the Killer is holding Maya hostage. Edgeworth, have all the police units head for Mr. Unguard's mansion immediately. Alright, you hurry over as well then. Don't lose hope yet, Pearls. The fight has only just begun. Yeah. How do I get there? Oh yeah, hotel lobby. It's not hotel lobby? Where is it? Which way do I go to... Oh wait, living room. Yeah, there it is. Maya! Please answer us, Mystic Maya! We have this area completely surrounded. There is no way for him to escape. Assuming he's still in the area. Can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. And he and On Guard were working together all this time. I'm sure they had worked out a contingency plan ahead of time. Oh, it's a figurine of a bear. But there are a lot of cuts in it for some reason. Wooden bear-shaped figurine. It's covered in many thin cuts. A bear? Isn't that more a thing for Mr. Corda? Why would something like this be here? Right, look down. There's a little pet door installed here. Ah, I'm sure that's for Shu. Do you think that this came through that little door? Oomph. This door, it's locked. Well, I'm pretty used to breaking doors down by now. Let's go, Edgeworth. Slam, slam, slam. Ah, there's no one here. From the looks of this room, I would say this is Mr. Unguard's private lounge. Look at this, right? An antenna for sending and receiving radio signals and a VCR. Check inside the deck. If there's a tape, it would be an important piece of evidence. If we're lucky, it'll have the moment the crime was committed recorded on it. I'm sorry, but the tape deck is empty. There's no tape to be found. No, but there's no mistake that someone used this to record something. Looks like someone took the tape we're looking for and escaped with it. We've searched all over, but it looks like he got away. I'm sorry. Looks like he slipped out of our grasp this time. And now, we've lost our only lead. Don't give up yet. That little girl is looking to you to be her pillar. Yeah, you're right. We're close, I can tell. You've already set up checkpoints along every route leading out of this district. Leave the rest to us. Maya. This looks like a picture of Miss Impax. With love, Celeste. Miss Impax, you mean... Yes, Mr. Corda's former manager. Why would a picture of Miss Impax be here in Mr. Unguard's mansion? Why does it say, with love? This might be a clue. Yeah, better talk to, you know, Andrews about that. Ah, what's wrong, Pearls? Please let me see that picture frame. Huh? What's so special about the frame? On the back, there's something written on the back of the frame. Maya. It's Mystic Maya. She left us a message. What? I thought you'd come. I knew you would. Now listen up. You'd better get Untitled a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag a not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever. I'm fine, so you don't need to worry. There's so much I want to write, but I don't think I have a lot of time left. Curly, you're there too, right? Make sure you help Nick, okay? Someone's gotta watch out for the helpless lunk. That's it for now, Nick. I guess I'll talk to you guys later. No! Mystic Maya! Zog. Right. What's wrong? Why the blank stare? Oh, nothing. We've searched the house, and this is the last room. It looks like he eluded us. Edgeworth. Yes? As far as clues go, I think this is about all I'm going to get. But I'm still short one last thing. And what is that? Miss Andrews' psych-log. If I could just find out what secret she's holding, then I think I stand a chance in court tomorrow to blow this case wide open and expose the truth. I think I know what you're thinking. I'll contact the detention center. Thanks, Edgeworth. Well, let's go, Pearls. It's time to open that last lock. Good evening, Mr. Wright. What's wrong? You look ill. Miss Andrews, I have come to remove your psych lock. Psych lock? I want to know, and you will tell me, your secret. Fine, go ahead. Try to break me if you can. Can you please tell me why you framed... Alright, I already said. The autopsy report. Or suicide report, not autopsy. Celeste. There's only one catalyst that could cause... Yeah. What are you trying to say? Celeste was Juan's manager. On top of that, the one who hid her suicide note was also Juan. What does all this have to do with Matt? You're right, you haven't mentioned him yet. But for you to hate Mr. Matangaard, it would mean that he must have had some relation to Miss Impax and her suicide. Well, I'll just show you this image. This is a photo of Miss Impax, correct? She looks younger than when she passed away, though. With love, Celeste. This is Miss Impax's handwriting, isn't it? Where did you find this? No, that's alright. It was a rhetorical question. Yeah, it is. I found this at Mr. Matangaard's mansion. And after all this time, my last remaining secret has been revealed. Celeste. She was supposed to get married to Juan. Yes, but I heard that it didn't work out. Because Mr. Corda didn't want to get married to her anymore, right? Yes, because of Matt. Because of Mr. Matangaard? What do you mean? I think I can see where this is going. Celeste, She was Matt's manager a long time ago. She was the happiest woman in the world at the time. I was working part-time back then, and I often saw the two of them together. So that's why "With Love, Celeste" is written on the frame of that picture. They were a couple, weren't they? It wasn't anything as splendid as that. Celeste was being used, toyed with until she was thrown away. That's so horrible. Matt's entire image is built around how nice and wonderful of a man he is. A scandal would have destroyed that. Which is why Celeste, in her kindness, moved over to Worldwide Studios. That is where she met Juan. She seemed really happy with him, even happier than when she was with Matt. Celeste and Juan were such a good match that they were even planning to get married. And then, it was suddenly called off. On the night Juan called their marriage off, Celeste killed herself. And that's why I framed Matt. It was revenge for Celeste and for myself. I'm sure even you can guess why Juan killed the wedding off, right? Matt confessed to Juan about his relationship with Celeste. I see, so that's what happened. But then why did Mr. Corda have to call off the wedding? I don't understand at all. It was probably because of his worthless male pride. And Juan and Matt were always fierce rivals. Matt waited for the wedding announcement and then unleashed the truth on Juan. He was aiming for when it would hurt Juan the most. Poor Miss Impax. That wasn't the end of it. That day, I'm almost certain that Celeste left a suicide note behind. And in that note, she left a detailed account of Matt's various misdeeds and, so that she would never be hurt by Matt, she chose to die. Then, when Juan discovered her body, he hid her note. But why would he do that? It's simple. Juan realized that note was a powerful weapon against Matt, and it would be especially damaging to his refreshing like a spring breeze image. In any case, with his pride hurt, Juan sought revenge. Revenge, there's that word again. Juan wanted to publicly disclose the contents of that suicide note. At a time that would cause Matt the most damage, of course. And that was at the press conference after the stage show. I know all about it because I heard it all from Juan. It was so I could find out all about this that I drew close to Juan to begin with. They're quite a pair of hideous monsters, aren't they? Even Celeste's death was something for them to use in their game. That night, when I found Juan's body, it was only natural that I thought the murderer was Matt. Those two were always spying on one another after all. As for me, I was frantically searching for Celeste's suicide note. I wanted to destroy it before it ever went public. I was going to burn it. I had even brought a lighter. But I couldn't find the suicide note. And that's when revenge crossed my mind. Yes, I was going to bring it to them on my own kind of cruel revenge. Celeste was killed by those two monsters. So when I stabbed Juan's body with that knife, I didn't feel a single shred of guilt. And that's all I have to say. Well, Mr. Wright, Even knowing all this, are you still going to help that man? I'm a lawyer. I see. What a foul profession. Thank you very much for your time and for talking with me. It was no big deal. I couldn't sleep anyway. I can't sleep either, not with Maya's situation, or with what I know now. What am I going to do then? Huff, huff. Grr. How did I get into this mess? That's far enough. You can't run forever, Mr. Phoenix Wright. What? What have I done wrong? I cannot allow you to go on like this. But I'm just a simple defense attorney. Silence. You are no longer worthy of your title. What was that all about? I've had this dream before, someplace, some time ago. As if this day was written into my destiny. Today I'll stand in court as a lawyer. To prove a killer innocent. Hello, this is Phoenix Wright. You don't look so well, dude. You're gonna prove me not guilty today, right? Ha ha ha, if you please, Mr. Lawyer. Remember, it's not just me, your precious friend's life is riding on today's verdict too. Grr. Now listen up, you'd better get Matangaard a guilty sentence, okay? If you get that creepy slime bag a not guilty, I'll never forgive you, ever. Maya. Phoenix. Phoenix. Mia. Maya, how's Maya? I don't know. You don't know? She hasn't tried to channel me since yesterday. Mia, what am I supposed to do? Well, like I said, for a lawyer, the worst times are when you have to force your biggest smiles. But you can't give up. There's still some hope left. Stop it, please. There's nothing left. Not here, not anywhere. Arg, it's that accursed Matangaard again. Will you leave me alone? Look, don't call me anymore, I mean it. You're really mean, pal. Ah, Gumshoe, I'm really sorry. Where are you? Hey, let me join the investigation team, and... They let me join the investigation team, and we're chasing after the killer, pal. Then you have some sort of lead? Sorry, but right now we've got 0 leads on the guy. But we're not going to give up. Gumshoe. Till the trial is over, until the verdict is handed down. We're going to do everything we can to find a killer. We can get Maya out, then you can get Matangaard the guilty verdict he deserves, pal. That's true. I could do that if they found Maya first. You got that? So you have to do whatever you can to make the trial last longer. I have to make the trial last longer? if you go at Mr. Edgeworth with everything you've got, then you two can fraud out. Oh, now I get it. I believe in you, pal. You and Mr. Edgeworth can do it. So, believe in us. We're going to give it all we've got, just like you. Got it. Thanks, Gumshoe. Hey, Phoenix. You understand now, don't you? You have something money will never be able to buy. Friendship. It's the strongest weapon in the world, and you have it in abundance. Yeah. Looks like we're coming to the end. I have to make the trial last as long as I can. Gumshoe will come through, I know it. That means this is probably going to be a long trial. Which means I guess I'll start it and then save the rest of the trial for next stream, where we hopefully finish Phoenix Wright. Court is now in session for the trial of Matangaard. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Now, as I recall, we concluded yesterday's session with a big mystery on our hands. The mystery being, what exactly was Miss Adrian Andrews' role in this murder? That is to say, is she really connected to the crime itself? Mr. Edgeworth, if you would please inform the court of today's proceedings. Adrian Andrews. She forged evidence that threw suspicion onto Mr. Matangaard, and then proceeded to escape the crime scene when wearing the nickel samurai costume. The guilt of these actions are those from which she cannot escape. Then you're saying that she is guilty after all? I'm not finished, Your Honor. Miss Andrews has nothing to do with committing the actual murder. I would like to direct the court's attention to this card. What is that? It looks like a shell. This is the calling card of a certain assassin. Assassin, you say? Yes, Juan Corda was killed by a professional assassin. And the person who hired the assassin, his client, so to speak, is Matangaard. What a surprising turn of events! I would think it's become commonplace by now, Your Honor. I know what's going on at this time, so I know that everything Edgeworth has said is true. But we still have to hold out as long as we can, at least until Maya's safe and sound. Wonder how the trial will turn out today. Now then, please call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls the defendant's mentor, Mr. Will Powers, to the stand. Now then, witness, your name and occupation, please. Oh, okay. I'm, Will Powers. I'm a poor, underpaid action star. And what is your relation to the defendant? Well, I guess I'm sort of a lousy mentor to him, in a way, yeah. Mr. Powers, please, you don't need to put yourself down so much. Oh, sorry, well, but I'm just kind of a nothing sort of guy. On the night of the murder, you visited the defendant's room. Is this correct? Yes. I didn't know that. But, you know, I didn't actually get to see Matt when I went. All you need to do is answer what you're asked. Now then, I would like you to please testify about when you went to Mr. Unguard's room. Okay, sure. After the award ceremony, I went by myself to Matt's room. Matt was standing there in front of his room, still in his nickel samurai costume. He was talking with someone at first. I thought it was the bellboy. I watched the two of them for a while, but then I gave up and went back. I had guests with me that night, and I couldn't make them wait for me. Nothing sounds out of the place in Mr. Power's testimony. And talking with the bellboy is no big deal. But who was the bellboy? If one assumes that the person Mr. Enguard was speaking with was an ordinary bellboy, what are you implying? Well, Mr. Wright, let's have your cross-examination, shall we? Looks like we're in another sticky situation. Huh? A trap. Can't you smell it, Phoenix? But for us to find out more, we're just going to have to charge in head first, right? The defendant's room? Why did you go there? Well, I'm his mentor, like a big brother, sort of. And I wanted to say congrats. What's wrong? Why did you stop? Mr. Wright, what is it? You're going to try and trick me into a corner, aren't you? Huh? I know I'm just a poor, underpaid action star, but I'm not the killer. No one said you were, Mr. Powers. No, please, don't trick me. Every time you do your lawyer thing, the witness suddenly turns into the bad guy. Every time? Witness, I will personally talk to the defense at a later time. So, for now, please kindly cooperate and continue with your testimony. Sorry. So you went to the defendant's room and then? Hey, wait a minute. When and how did I suddenly turn into the bad guy here? Are you sure that was Matangaard? Yeah, I'm sure. He wasn't wearing the nickel samurai mask then. If that's the case, then he can't really be mistaken. What was the defendant doing standing in front of his own room? At first? What do you mean by that? Well, he was in a bellboyish uniform and he had a bottle of juice on a tray. Sounds like an ordinary bellboy to me. Yeah, but I didn't think he was a normal bellboy. And why was that? Why did I think that, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Sorry, but I can't remember right now, sorry. I guess I'm going to have to wait patiently on this one. You saw the two of them, the bellboy and the defendant together, correct? Yeah, the bellboy just wanted to say congrats. Now, while you were watching the two of them, did you notice anything strange? You know, I did feel something weird. I think it was because Matt, well, he gave the bellboy a tip. A tip? But that's a perfectly normal thing to do. So, how long did you watch the two of them? Not more than a minute or two, I think. So who are these guests you're talking about? Isn't it you guys? You guys, of course. You and Maya, and Little Pearl. I thought it would be really rude since I invited you guys if I disappeared on you. So I went back to my seat pretty soon after seeing Matt in the hallway. This is like squeezing water from a stone. It's probably pointless to press further. Do you remember this incident? Did Mr. Powers leave his seat that night? I don't remember that happening at all. Maya was making such a racket in her hyper state, I ended up focusing on her. I see. In any case, from his story, he probably wasn't gone for very long. Was it this person? Your Honor, no. It was not that. At first, I thought... Oh, the tip. I don't know, I think I'm just gonna end there because I have no idea. He thought it was weird. He gave him a tip. That's not very helpful. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I finish next stream. Finish this case finally. Bye. Well, first I gotta see who I'm gonna read.